All right, what's happening, y'all? We appreciate you coming back to the battle world. The battle we're about to talk about, it was super awesome, y'all. Super awesome. It's Mega-Man versus Astro Boy. Now, I had Ian, Stefan, and Robert, and we chopped it up. We talked about everything. We talked about their history, all their different weapons, and Astro Boy's choice of clothes, or lack thereof. Not only that, but there's going to be no more draws, no more ties, and no more stalemates. We're now phoning a friend. Now, Death Battle had done this particular fight before, but we thought that they missed a few things. So this is how we see it playing out. And at the end, we discuss the next possible battles. Crazy thing is, this is a twofer, because in discussing the next possible battles, we went ahead and did a battle. So you're getting 2 for 1 here. Mega-Man versus Astro Boy, and you're going to have to wait and find out at the end on which battle we just decided to throw in. So,
enough talk.
Here we go. Battle World Coliseum, Mega-Man versus Astro Boy. It's Battle World Coliseum! We've got Ian.
Elder. I mean, wait. No, that's George.
Stefan.
Well, shit, bro.
And introducing Robert.
I could have my son come in here and just run down.
And as always, I'm your host, Michael. Yay! It's Battle World Coliseum. This episode is Mega-Man versus Astro Boy. Alright, so we're here to talk about Mega-Man versus Astro Boy. Mega-Man versus Astro Boy. On my left, we got
Ian McCabe, Elder Nerd. I mean, wait. No, that's George.
Don't take that title from
I'm the
him.
Jack of all nerds.
Jack of all nerds. Following Ian, welcoming back again, we've got
Stephen Mold, just a jack of all trades.
all right, Stephen Mold. And joining us for the first time, we've got
Oh, I'm introducing myself? No.
Yeah, you're not
You
introduced as
me.
a black guy.
You introduced me. God damn
okay.
it.
And for the first time here, Ashy Robert.
Oh, no. I'm blurred extraordinaire, Robert. I'm the black nerd.
Give you guys a little history story about me, man. Also, shout out to first of all the fact that it's Father's Day tomorrow. So this podcast is very poignant in that regard because both of these guys are basically surrogate children for their fathers, especially Astro Boy, who is quite literally a replacement for his son.
For his dead, stupid son.
His son that he was like,
Stupid son.
I don't have time for you, bro. All right, I'm a scientist. I'm building robots.
Go run
I'm
into
just
the-
going to drive a car.
I'm just going to take
But-
the car and go for a spin. Oh, no, it's a truck!
Little history on Mega Man to establish. So Dr. Light and Dr. Wily have
Fell in love and they wanted
any
a
of you
child.
guys played?
And it made 10 beautiful children.
And they weren't allowed to adopt.
What's really interesting about the sagas is they're kind of mirrored. If any of you have played the Battle Network series at all, so the Battle Network series is essentially the original Mega Man, but if Light and Wily had designed the internet instead of robots, and like they have like net navies, which are like your personal assistants that go and surf the net for you and stuff like Alexa or whatever nowadays. But it's mirrored in the fact that that universe, Light and Wily designed the internet instead of robots. In the original one, they designed robots. Wily goes crazy at some point. It's not really clear why he goes crazy. I mean, he was jealous of
His
Light.
name was Wally.
He was he was jealous of Light for sure, but he ends up going crazy and taking over the Robot Masters. And at the time, Dr. Light had liked Roll. He made Roll. She was like his homegirl, but Rock was essentially just his houseboy. Like Rock literally did all the chores, nothing else. And then all of a sudden one day he was like, what am I going to do about Wily? And Rock was just like,
I'm already taking care of all the
do
other
it.
stuff.
And he was like, what? Dude, you sweep up. And he was like, yeah, you know, you're a robot guy. You can just change that, right? And he was like,
Programming.
yeah,
I guess I could. We got Roxanne.
all right. And then he goes in and he reprograms this guy. So while X exists, while Mega Man exists, He fights Wily's robots, gets those powers that we talked about before. Proto Man was actually the precursor to, that's why he's Proto Man. He's the precursor to Mega Man. He was the first battle robot. He was not on Wily's side, even though they constantly show him in Wily missions or whatever. He's actually not a bad guy. Proto Man's tight.
Okay.
But
I feel so unprepared for this.
but then to combat Mega Man, Wily designs Bass, and then Bass starts rocking shit, but he's too like prideful to ever actually like listen to Wily, and so again they never succeed together. Bass has a dog as well called Treble. They fuse together because he's supposed to be bass, but it's Bass. So they fuse together. While both of those robots are fighting each other, Wily and Light are both designing new robots. Light's designing X, and he's building X like over time. Wily is actually building Zero. If any of you know about Zero from Mega Man X.
Yeah, the better one.
Yeah, Wily builds Zero, and Zero goes crazy. And they never talk about it. They never address it for real, but there's a fan theory called the Cataclysm. And what that says is that after Zero was designed and finished, he goes berserk, Wily destroys cities, like defeats the original Mega Man, kills Bass, destroys the world basically, and Light designs X as like a way to combat Zero. He ends up dying before X is activated, and then this other doctor comes. I forget his name. It's something with a C. He comes and finds
Dr.
X
Wiry.
So that was year
wiry.
20XX. Now we're in year 22XX, where X is activated finally. And he just becomes like a soldier, a foot soldier, basically, to this guy called Sigma. And during that time, at some point, they sealed away Zero in this like place. Sigma comes upon Zero, and like he's fucked up all the other Maverick hunters because rogue robots are called Mavericks now. Okay. And Zero's just been in there with like a pipe, just fucking up,
Going Resident Evil on them.
And then like Sigma comes in, he's like the strongest dude. He comes in and he fights Zero. He ends up putting him down, but in the fight, like Zero's madness is called like the Zero virus or whatever. It ends up infecting Sigma, and that's when Sigma goes evil or whatever. So all of the stuff that happens in Mega Man and Mega Man X is all tied together in one timeline, technically. So that's just a little history on Mega Man.
A little.
Does anybody have anything you want to say about Astro Boy?
Astro Boy. I mean, we could do that backstory. It's not nearly as interesting, though.
No. I just, as you said all that, I was like, yeah, I bet nobody has that much information on
So,
Astro Boy.
Stefan, do you know anything about Astro Boy?
Well, besides the fact that we already mentioned that there was just one day that little Tobio was, like, he's like, Dad's not
Tobio.
paying attention to me. I'm gonna go get the car keys, and then he gets himself crashed into a liner.
Doesn't take his dog with him. He's like,
No,
you
the
chill.
The dog wanted
Dog
to
would
go.
have been cool.
If the dog was there, he wouldn't have crashed.
If the dog was there, he would have had a cool robot dog like Mega Man.
And then after losing his son, the father scientist, his name is escaping me right now, brings all of his science buddies together, and they eventually create the Mighty Atom. But due to translations or whatever, I don't know how we decide. America decided that they were going to call him Astro Boy instead of the Mighty Atom.
And it's supposed to be Rockman versus Mega Man, and that's because the games were actually designed heavily on the music, and so he wanted it to be rock and roll. Obviously, that's the thing. They kept Roll's name, but they changed his name and his box art.
I just want to know what made them go, let's keep him in his underwear at all times.
You talking about Astro Boy?
Yeah.
Yo, I was just
This is
going
my
to bring
son.
that up.
Stuff hair and
This is my
underwear.
son.
Listen,
Walk around butt naked.
and
all
his
the time.
son wore full clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, they're Japanese people. It's different lifestyles. We can't judge.
Hang on.
Fuel tank
All
was
right, listen,
actually-
he's not
Oh,
naked.
well.
He has red boots on.
Underwear and red boots.
That doesn't
With a-
say much.
with a
And
nice
hair
little
gel.
belt, with a nice
Yeah,
little belt.
and hair gel.
Flip your hair up. Get pretty for me.
Got
Go ahead.
alfalfa action going on.
Get pretty for me.
Now,
So
now how
he
old
gets
is
sold
he supposed
to
to be?
He's supposed to be like 9 or 11
Did
or
you
something
say
like
Andy
that.
was sold?
He gets sold.
Just
His,
like
his
that?
He gets
dad,
sold to the circus.
So his dad is like, his dad eventually is like, crazy. Why would I make a robot son? He can never be my robot. He can never be my son. Get away from me. And then he sells it to a circus.
Off to the sex world.
And then
Look at you, 5 pennies for this boy.
He just works for the circus. He just works for the circus for a while. First of all, a military grade robot you're gonna sell to the circus?
It was the 30s.
That is logical.
And then
if you don't see it, I don't know.
That's
what's wrong
Japanese
with you.
logic.
And then he gets found by this other professor who looks a lot like Dr. Light.
Said you got a big old nose.
And he ends
He
up
got
being
found by
like,
another
listen, bro,
pedophile that looked like his dad.
you could come hang out with me and we could like, I don't know, like save the world or whatever. And he was like,
Cool.
We can all kick it
sounds
in our
tight.
underwear.
Sounds tight.
All right, so Mega Man versus Astro Boy. This was something that you came up with, Ian.
So Mega Man was my favorite game character growing up. I've played every iteration of Mega Man. I've played every Mega Man to exist except for like 2 Japanese ones that I haven't been able to get my hands on, but I've literally played every single Mega Man game, and I know a lot about the Blue Bomber. I know a little bit less about Astro Boy, but that's the thing about Battle World. You got to put like people up against each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I wish I could pair somebody with Mega Man, and then somebody in the group chat was like, I mean, Astro Boy. I was like,
So you're already
right.
leaning on Mega Man from the get go.
I mean, I'd be lying if I was saying there.
I agree.
Wasn't any bias. But,
I'm with you on it.
I knew the bias was coming. I
See?
knew the bias was going to come.
Stefan, are you coming in with any preconceived notions?
I mean, I'm pretty fairly known about both of the characters. I think I already have a pretty good idea who would win in the outcome, but we'll see what everybody has to say about it.
All right, Robert, do you have any preconceived notions? Are you leaning any way? Or are you just trying to see how it falls?
First, I'm trying to see how it falls. But at first, I did think it was going to be Astro Boy. But I have a feeling everybody's going to go with Mega Man just out of nostalgia.
Astro Boy's
saying-
older.
Yeah, exactly.
Astro Boy is older, and that's the problem. You don't sit there and go, I remember when Popeye used to just beat
Just beat the shit out of
I looked
Olive
some
Oil.
stuff up.
He
I
did
looked
just
some
beat the
stuff
shit out of
up
Olive Oil. That's-
on that, and obviously there's a couple times, and I'm sure we'll run into this a lot with this subject matter of podcast, but obviously Death Battle did this one.
Yeah.
Watched that one last night.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I mean,
I could have had my son come in here and just run y'all with this.
All right, so
He's
then let's
9.
just dive right in. All right, so we bring Mega Man, we bring Astro Boy to the Battle World Coliseum. All right, what powers are they bringing with them? Which version of Mega Man do we have? And let's not forget, Astro Boy has changed power sets in movies to comics to original
still
anime.
always got the butt blasters though.
They used to be hip blasters.
I don't think it
They were supposed to
matters
be
which
hit.
version.
They were supposed to be hit blasters, but they ended up just coming out of his butt.
to know.
Whoever drew those frames had to be like,
Somebody was like,
paid.
dude, fine. His butt?
Well,
All right.
he was probably like,
But all right, I don't think it really matters which version of Mega Man
I think it
comes
does.
because in the end, okay, whatever version it is, his power set is really just adaptability.
Well, the issue with that is, like, if you're talking about, like, Mega Man versus Mega Man X, you got to think about all the different robots that he had to come across.
He had
We're
fought
definitely
before.
doing
I thought
normal
about
Mega
that,
Man, but
he, from what I understand, like when he's done with a mission, he just like disregards whatever he.
he
He
usually
generally
does.
does, but he doesn't have them, like, stock
It doesn't.
gold in,
I'm
like...
saying that doesn't mean he doesn't have like a little
doesn't have
like
them on stock.
armory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just
like
saying,
on deck.
right.
All right,
because
so
otherwise
there's
he'd be
been
taking all that
times.
shit into
There's been
Mega Man
times
X.
where there's been times where
He had the Flash Man, the Crash Man.
there was
all
times
that.
where Rush just comes in with like items and stuff for Mega Man. He carries stuff for him all the time.
He carries him.
He carries himself. Yeah, there's definitely times where he's come with weapons for Mega Man.
See, that's the thing, yeah. That's
Let's
what
get-
it comes down to. Like
That's actually part of Astro Boy's core abilities is hyper adaptability. If you
Yep.
looked it up,
Yeah,
hyper
I got it written
adaptability.
down. Hyper adaptability.
And that basically means that Astro Boy's ability is to be eventually stronger than whatever he's
Plot
going
armor.
up against.
He's DC.
Yeah, so
Superman.
Oh, we get to dive back into that again.
hyper adaptability.
Oh, you got it.
so
Yeah,
then let's
those
agree
never
on a power set going into Battle World Coliseum. Which Mega Man are we going with?
We're going with a baseline Mega Man, no rush,
Oh,
with access to a basic set of all of his powers, though. So he has his fire abilities,
Blades,
which I think
wind,
are really
all-
important.
all his stuff.
Yeah, basically all access to all his stuff to make up for not having rush. He has access to all his abilities.
okay.
At random, though, at dealer's choice, which also means, for those of you that paid attention to the research, that he's probably hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
Who, Mega Man?
Yeah, because
Powers
if he has
has
too many
blood
powers.
if he has
lines.
too many powers, he gets like more aggressive and ruthless and stuff.
Okay, so I can
As
agree
you
to a Russian
Shit, when
roulette.
you're more powerful,
You should
yeah.
want to kill everything. Listen to me, it's my way now.
I can agree to a Russian roulette version of his powers.
He's
His
got
suits.
leaf shields. He's got various fire powers that can reach
I want the fire
hotter
sword.
temperatures than the sun.
Yeah, I want the fire sword.
Yeah, fire sword's dope.
Now, my
Flame
research
sword.
showed
Flame man.
he's
Yeah,
got
that's
superhuman strength.
Yes.
Okay, superhuman endurance. He was made to fight any threat to mankind.
No, he's made to fight dust bunnies. He just said that.
He was a cleaning
He was
bot. He was redesigned.
designed to fight
He
any
was
threat
repurposed to fight
mankind.
space dust bunnies.
And he has this.
This Hoover has
you know
been
what's
changed.
interesting? This is what's great. I can't believe I didn't bring this up. I gotta find out what this new thing's called. So, in the new game that's coming out,
Yeah.
they're re-releasing a new Mega Man game.
It's going to be better than the one that Mighty 10 crap, right?
Hey man, Mighty Number 9. First of all, KG
Mighty Number 10, whatever.
Keiji
He ran off
Inafune
my
is the
money.
designer of Mega Man. He had a disagreement with Capcom, much like Hideo Kojima did
he
with
stole my
Konami.
money.
And hey, I have the collector's edition statue of Mighty Number 9, bro. It's a good game if people
I'm just
actually
messing
played
with
it.
you,
I'm
man.
saying if you actually played Mighty Number 9, it is exactly what he said he would give us. The thing is that it took like 3 years longer than he said he would give it to us, which is why the thing is. But so in the new game,
Yeah.
in the first of all, Mega Man has a chip. So he has
Let's
a
just
chip.
call it the adapter chip.
Yeah, he has an adapter chip
Plot armor.
that basically gives him the ability to consume and create for himself any weapon or ability of an opponent. Usually after
Really?
he defeats them, but I mean, he's been shown to do it in battle. And then his new system, it's called the Dual Gear, man. So he has this thing where he can basically speed himself up like infinitely. Like it becomes like a stop time thing. He becomes super fast, or he can like quintuple his strength or something like that.
Really?
Like his blasting power gets really powerful. So he has this new double engine thing that
Well,
he
is his-
didn't have
Well, his-
in the aforementioned meetup.
Is his armor still pretty much impervious to energy blast except for things that puncture? Because that was something that was specifically set aside. Is that the only thing that can really hurt Mega Man's armor is things designed to puncture?
Concussive
So
force,
forks,
he's pretty
spoons, knives, anything that pokey poke.
He's pretty resilient
Anything with
to
a point.
concussive force, but yeah, I mean things that can like
He can be shanked.
yeah.
He can be prison
Luckily
shanked.
Never
for-
take him to the yard.
Luckily
The
for
sisters
us,
can get him.
luckily for us, Astro Boy don't do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a shiv on him.
Okay.
Did you see the point on his girl?
If he were to rhinoceros,
Pretty
this,
crispy.
I mean,
Now Mega Man's obviously coming in with his arm blaster.
yeah, that's
Mega
standard.
Buster.
Mega
Yeah,
Buster.
Mega Buster. Okay, good. Now
Mega Buster's
It's
gone
two
through a
of them,
lot of
actually.
change.
and it can still charge though, no
It
matter
can
which
charge
version.
hard now.
Yeah.
like that was the
His arm
that's
goes
the-
Super Saiyan.
With the with the dual engine, essentially, he can it can go like way stronger now. So like he could.
Blow off his own arm if he does it wrong.
I mean, yeah, but he can also just blast like
And what about power source? Mega Man power source.
infinite.
I tried to look it up. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
find it.
internal.
It's infinite. It's like a core. It's like
Okay.
perpetual engine inside of him.
He has a Rolex inside his chest.
Yeah, like it never stops. Whatever
If
it
you
is.
guys have a Rolex that ticks, you don't have a Rolex.
But he does have limited ammo on each of his abilities. Like he can only use them for so long.
Correct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Except for the Mega Buster.
Yeah, the Mega Buster is infinite power.
But anything that he's taken from like another robot master, then yes, that's limited.
Now, one of the things that I found in the research that actually I didn't know that struck me as weird, can anybody speak to the fact that Mega Man is able to copy other robots through touch?
Yeah, so that's his like hyper adaptability chip.
That's
basically
what that is?
when he'll like defeat them because nobody's gonna let you come up on them and just be like,
Yeah.
So like he blasts them a couple times with yellow pellets and then maybe a blue pellet.
See, now I got a question. Does this fight start off like traditional fights where they tap their hands and say fight?
Nah.
This is Battle World Coliseum. They just wake up there. They just get thrown there.
Yeah, exactly. We assume that they wake up there, don't understand what's going on. Astro Boy and Mega Man see each other, perceive each other as a threat,
Exactly.
to mankind, and then duke it out.
Okay, now I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is it Mega Man like in the game young, or is it Mega Man cover art where he looks crazy old for some reason?
I was just talking about that.
Nintendo cover art was horrible.
Nintendo of America changed the art. If you look at the art,
It's terrible.
if you look at the original art on the box, though, it looks nothing like that. And then they were like, basically, when they imported it, right? They had a deadline to get this art done, right? Mm-hmm. And if you watch the documentary about it, so they had a deadline to get this art done, and essentially, some dude was just like, "Oh man, I totally forgot about this deadline," and he was like,
Put a helmet
"Bro,
on the Contra guy."
you're good at drawing. Like, can you draw this thing for me?" He was like, "What is it?" He's like, "All right, it's like a guy, right? And he's got blue on him. He shoots robots." So he was like, he shoots robots. Cool. He put a straight up gun in his hand, like, and he's shooting robots on the cover or whatever. And it looks nothing like Mega Man.
It's like
No
like
Mega Buster.
Like some 50-year-old dude with a helmet on, man. It's
And
like
then-
Contra helmet.
And then they like channel that into the American cartoon of Mega Man, where they show him as like kind of like an adult type figure.
Really?
And the American Mega Man cartoon is terrible.
She could only
But
imagine.
he looks tough, and that's what
He
counts.
does look kind of tough though.
Okay. So that's pretty much Mega Man. Anything left out?
Well, I mean,
That
no.
dual engine is
power-wise.
important to think about now.
All right. So, Stefan, start us off on Astro Boy. Let's talk about powers. What are his
Okay,
powers?
so because we're assuming that Mega Man is basically has all of his powers up to date except for Rush.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
everything that Astro has been able to do, he has super plastic skin, which is incredibly tough. It's harder than metal and also isn't conductible by electricity, so no Electro Man.
Apparently he can be zapped by plasma beams.
Well, plasma, that's different.
But apparently it can withstand temperatures up to like the sun. Mega Man
was
does
half
have
melted.
fire. Mega Man
Wink,
does
wink.
have fire that can surpass the temperature of the sun, but that's one of Astro Boy's weaknesses too. He's afraid of being melted.
Correct.
Really?
Yes.
What the hell did his...
I don't know. I don't know
do
where
to
that-
him?
I don't know
Watch
where that...
Child's Play too.
Well,
He put out cigarettes on
in
Astro
his
Boy's
world,
arms.
in his world,
13 Reasons Why, Astro Boy.
in his world, that's how robots are destroyed in his world. Is essentially
Cigarette
they're
burns?
melted down. For scrap and stuff.
Really?
So like when a robot goes rogue or whatever, they like melt it down. And
his
that's
biggest
why
fear is
you
Convert
Child's
your
Play
old
2, like I
jewelry
just
into
said.
gold.
Yeah.
You watch Child's Play 2 in front of
Convert
him?
your old children into metal.
yeah.
Cash for kids. Okay, so...
You got an extra sun line around?
More. Okay, so we agreed on the 100K horsepower,
Right.
correct?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be doing the
No,
dual
hold on.
engine for Mega Man, then I think it would be fair to immediately give him the million engine.
The
for
million
Astro Boy.
horsepower,
The
but-
million horsepower for Astro Boy.
Do know how much fuel that uses.
Exactly. You got one shot at this.
Here's my thing. What I know about Astro Boy only comes really from the 2009 movie. And then he's got that blue core
It's
that
roughly-
powers him up.
See,
And then that's supposed to be like
No.
infinite.
Nah.
Anya.
I like the way y'all all.
I will be right. We
But
will
you
be
know,
right
that's
there
the
to
thing that makes
destroy
him
that
go
theory.
Equal with Mega Man at
All
that
right,
point.
we'll be right there to destroy that theory.
That's y'all's nostalgia kicking in. It's like I want to give Mega Man the advantage,
Oh, no,
and
no,
I
no,
want
no.
him to run out of fuel.
All right, so if we're giving him the 1,000,000 horsepower, see now he has been shown to have like a lot of fuel reserves or
Chutzpah.
whatever, but like he does even in the 2009 movie and in the other forms, he does still get tired out. He does still
He
like
runs out of
lose
gas,
energy.
literally.
He runs out, and that's one of his weaknesses is that if he runs out of energy,
Completely.
he's fucked.
Yeah, completely defensive.
And
Yep,
like
he
even though he
becomes a
does have
vegetable.
the super plastic skin, his limbs and arms, his head has been shown to be able to just pop off from
Exactly,
concussive
if he-
force.
Exactly. All right, jet-powered flight. He's got.
Okay, he's got super jet powered flight. He has flashlight eyes, the ability to discern good and evil.
He is
can
super fast.
He is incredibly fast. 45 million miles per hour fast.
Now we need to agree on one thing because there's two versions here: laser cannons or laser fingers.
No, he has both.
He has both.
Both?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Really.
Because he has the basically think of it like
can go pew,
pistol,
pew.
pistol,
Pew, pew.
and then
He can
goes
finger bang
shotgun.
Mega Man to death.
Yes.
Which really gets back to the why is he in the underwear?
Is he in
and
the
the things
underwear?
that he
Let's
And
try
also-
some butt
Beneficial.
cannons.
And also, he has butt cannons, and then also like I'm pretty sure he had nipples in the early.
No, that
series.
was Satan. Yes, no joke. He fought a robot named Satan who shot lasers out of his nipples.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
See, you guys see it as a butt cannon. I see it as a metal fleshlight. You know,
See, you're the one that came up with the design for him. He's got to be in his underwear at all times. I need access.
Oh my god.
Okay, so sorry. Go ahead,
So
Stella.
let me see here. We have super jet flight. We have flashlight eyes, ability to discern good and evil, convert 60 languages. He has the ability to dig through solid earth and fly through sheets of metal with ease. He had two more powers. I cannot.
Super intelligence.
Yes.
Sensitive hearing.
Sensitive
We already
hearing.
said the
flashlight eyes.
hyper adaptive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flashlight eyes.
Flashlight
that
eyes.
also uses
That was
power.
necessary. Like
That also.
But
he's
Mega
got robotic
Man,
eyes, but they
Mega
need to be able to
Man
light up too.
totally fucking see in the dark.
Oh, yeah,
he doesn't need flashlights.
Y'all remember the Smash 4 trailer?
Eyes? Really?
All right.
Totally see in the dark.
Who designed this robot?
So we get in the Battle World
A
Coliseum.
grieving father.
Yes.
A terrible father. Flashlight
terrible-
You know what? His son was probably like, one time his son was probably like, Dad, I got, like a butt cannon, like, and then he like farted, and he was like, I'm going to remember that.
I love my
I'm going to
son.
remember
I got
that.
you.
I'm going to put that in my robot.
Because I love you, boy.
butt
I
cannon.
love you.
Imagining that situation. He's like, I'm just going to go ahead and design this in. One day he hears Astro Boy knocking on his door. He's like, Dad, I did it!
I was already too far in the joke to stop.
I mean, just think about some of Astro Boy's powers. They don't sound too
just sounds-
PC friendly.
Oh, yeah,
Laser
so-
fingers, arm cannon,
Check
butt
this out.
cannon.
So this
Next
is
to-
what I was talking
He's
about.
a power bottom.
This is what I was talking about for Mega Man real quick. Unique to this game is the double gear system, which grants Mega Man 2 additional abilities. Speed gear, the power to slow down time, essentially, but he just gets really fast. So that might match his power with what's his face?
45 million.
Plus, also, he could stop time. Allowing him to dodge attacks, while power gear increases the attack of his Mega Man's weaponry. Both these will overheat Mega Man if he uses them too much. And when his health is critically low, he can activate both gears and perform a powerful charge shot while being super fast.
And then he'll die.
No, he survives, but
No, I'm just talking about in this fight, and then he will die.
if he doesn't get that off,
And that's
he
Mega
will
Man?
die.
that's Mega Man.
Then
Right.
he will die. Just-
Okay, so based on power sets and whatnot, no matter what, even though Death Battle said it was going to be Astro Boy and actually worked it out and showed how, I see one of the biggest drawbacks from Astro Boy, one of his biggest cons, is that he has human emotions.
and also his power source. And they talk about Astro Boy being stronger than Mega Man, but that was like base Mega Man, and like one of the Robot Master's abilities is super strength. And like he has that ability that he stole from him, like, and he could just summon it at any time, like be super strong all of a sudden, you know? And like, and he can summon Quick Man's abilities, which he's supposed to have just gotten Quick Boomerang, but I mean,
Does Mega Man have a problem killing if he's attacked?
no, especially another robot.
Exactly.
Especially another robot.
Exactly.
If it's another robot, you're going down.
If you could see the anger in his face when he said that, like, especially.
That's
like,
my
he was about
point.
to punch one of
Bro,
us.
robot on robot crime, bro, is no problem for the Blue Bomber.
Exactly.
Wow, just cares none at all about robot civil rights.
Bro, when you see him destroy them, they go blue, blue, blue.
Exactly. He atomizes them.
And then absorbs their.
He's the robot Highlander.
He just got the quickening.
He is the robot Highlander, basically. There can only be one.
And he has all the power sets. So no rush, and you think he still takes out Astro Boy, Ian?
Dude, especially with the double gear.
I'm sorry. No, see, no.
So you
Because
think
he's
on
got
Battle
so-
World, Astro Boy's going to win?
Here's the thing. All right, I didn't know about the
problem is this.
hyper-adaptability. I didn't know about the hyper-adaptability.
That's
and all that.
Astro Boy's
I didn't
ability.
know. I didn't know that about. See, at first this morning I was going to go with Mega Man because he is just that's his superpower. He just adapts.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that about Astro Boy. So in the end, you take everything that Astro Boy has already, and the fact that Mega Man has to summon up his abilities, Astro Boy takes it because he's already got it there.
But Astro Boy won't put
He
him down.
can summon
he's
them.
just gonna- he's
he
just
can
gonna-
summon them like that. He doesn't. He just needs to think
but
about
like
it.
that to another robot is like, what is it when he's quicker already?
Well,
y'all were
here-
saying that
here's-
y'all giving him the abilities where he's already faster, stronger. And
Who, Mega
Two
Man?
things.
No, Astro Boy.
Astro Boy.
He came with
They
that.
made me switch my their argument about Astro Boy made me switch what I was going to say this morning.
To Astro Boy.
To Astro Boy. I went from Astro Boy to Mega Man last night when I was doing my research.
Yes, it is.
Back to no, it isn't.
Yes, it
back
is.
to Astro Boy
I don't
based
know,
on what
guys.
they're saying.
He's gone full circle with the robot children. Adopt and sell today.
Oh my God! Back to Astro Boy.
All right.
Astro Boy's ability. Like,
Let me
he's
let
right
me
off
flip
that
you
hyper-
again.
that
Let me flip you again
hyper-adaptability.
though. Let me flip you again though. All right. So let me tell you the battle situation. What's going down? All right. So they meet each other in Battle World. It probably looks similar. They both have similar looking cities, so it probably looks like some type of combination of their cities.
And one of them's dressed.
One of them has clothes on.
They don't know what happened the night before. They got blackout.
Cold out. So
I have to destroy you so I know my credibility
So
is
Astro
fine.
Boy sees Mega Man first and starts like flying towards him. You know, Mega Man's never seen this robot before. Perceives the threat,
Immediate.
goes
Immediate.
after him. Right? Astro Boy acts in self-defense, and that's the difference because Astro Boy's ruthlessness is not there. He will not go all out if he doesn't have to. He lets his opponents do stuff until he has to ramp up his power, and in so doing, he would eventually run his engine out. I mean, he would have to, especially against a person like Mega Man who can stop time, who can be super fast
I can't
and
go
super
to stop
powerful.
time based on like your rules from your
Now,
other.
let me say
podcasts.
this though. Let me say this. We talked about earlier. So his skin, Astro Boy's skin, might be impervious to a lot of attacks.
It's plastic.
but it's able to be melted. Mega Man has the power to summon up fires that can be hotter than the sun, and he's scared of that shit. So his body parts have been shown to be very weak to concussive force, which Mega Man with the dual gear is probably going to hit him with a super powerful blast that's going to knock off 1 or 2, maybe 3 of his limbs. And you think Mega Man's going to let him put those limbs back on? Oh, hold up, bro. Let me get a screwdriver. Nah.
No, I'm
It's not
sticking
happening.
with the fact that Astro Boy is basically Superman now, and
No,
he's just gonna
not,
knock
though.
his
But
head off.
both of them have adaptability.
Well, I know, but then one of them is super OP compared to the other one, and that's Astro Boy.
Well, let Mega
and
Man
then
touch
the little bit
Astro
I
Boy,
do
though.
know, the little bit that I do know about it,
Exactly.
the little bit I do know about Astro Boy and all that is Mega Man's the copy. He's the ripoff. I knew that was gonna hurt.
No.
I knew that was gonna hurt.
I can't.
I
Let
knew
you
that
have
was gonna
that
hurt.
one, man. I mean, they,
If it was Mega Boy, maybe.
If it was Mega
But
Boy,
no, he's Mega Man.
What it is it's
he's
still,
got a shirt.
Yeah, there's
got-
one difference.
They had to dress him or else it was gonna be a blatant ripoff.
He's got a helmet.
Yeah, it was gonna be a blatant ripoff. If they
His
didn't
hair
dress
is
him.
way more on fleek.
No, because he's got
it's
helmet
got
hair.
3
First
spikes.
off,
When he
first
takes
off,
his hat
I don't
off,
believe that. Zero, his hair's on fleek. Mega Man has helmet hair, man. Okay, we're not gonna go with that lie around here.
Zero went
He
ahead
takes
and
that
put-
helmet off.
Zero
and it
said,
looks like
"Hold up,
mess.
bro. You gotta put a hole in this for my pony."
Exactly. He's like, I'm gonna trucker cap this bitch.
Listen, I don't care how you cut it, Robert. You even said overpowered. It doesn't matter. He's OP. That's fine. All that
So
that
that
power
means-
takes fuel, and
that
he's
power
been
takes
susceptible to running out of fuel. Not
With
just
normal robot
This is
and normal
liquid
robot
fuel.
This is
battles.
normal robot
yes,
and normal
this
battles.
is liquid fuel. We're talking.
And if he's hyper intelligent, I think he would look at the other robot and go, "Oh, I think he can go longer than me. I should knock the shit out of him and be done with it."
Or just take an L or run away.
I'm gonna
You
knock the
can't.
shit
All right,
out of him.
let's say-
I'm gonna knock his head off. Keep his head. I'll keep his hair intact. I'm gonna knock his hair off.
Mega
knock his
Man's-
head off and be done with it.
Mega Man's head is never
Mega
shown
Man-
to be off his body. Astro Boy's head is always coming off his body.
Because he's never gone up against Astro Boy.
Let us
Astro
disembowel
Boy.
that fool.
So Astro Boy, let me posit this to you. Mega Man again has the ability to absorb the powers of other robots by touch, and that's an adaptability
By
power. They
touch.
both basically have hyper adaptability.
Yeah.
All Astro Boy has to do is, and he was shown in the death battle. He was shown in it to basically ram into Mega Man. That touch alone, Mega Man grabbing him, Mega Man could absorb his powers and then have 1,000,000 horsepower himself.
That's if he's using that to beat him up.
That's always on.
That's not
That
always
power
on.
is always on if you're fighting a robot.
Oh,
The
wow.
ability
And
to
then-
absorb his powers,
His ability to absorb his powers. Yeah,
it's
okay.
always on.
That's like okay. So
Whose Buster is stronger?
I don't know, man, because one of them is naked, and he needs to be stronger because of that.
He needs to be strong
he
because
needs
he's
to be
naked.
stronger because he's naked. All right, so
Stefan?
I'm going with Astro Boy on that one.
Well, here's what I have to say
You
about all
flipped
this.
the script on us, Robert.
The only way I see Mega Man winning this fight is if a hotter fire than the sun is enough to melt Astro Boy's skin, because they never really say how hot it has to be.
It showed him being partially melted when he was on the sun.
Yeah.
Yes, but he was partially melted, but he still lived through it.
Yeah, but and
On
he's
the side.
he's
You want
also
to.
he's also afraid of melting. He's afraid of fire for melting purposes, and because that's a phobia and he has the mind of a child. Remember that.
Yeah, I know, that's
even
right.
though he's super intelligent, he does still have the mind of a child, and he has that phobia. That's a fear.
Now, I want you to remember something about children. Children either rage out when they're so scared of something.
Yep.
Or
And
they
I don't
piss
think
their
he's
pants.
gonna. I don't think he's gonna piss his pants. I think he's gonna panic, and the blue core comes out, and the world is gone.
Fire bird! Fire
He's gonna be
bird!
like, "Fire! I'd rather blow the fuck up." Pull up the blue
So
core,
that's
and
so
everybody
that's a
loses.
dual core. That's a dual KO
Everybody
then.
loses.
That's a dual KO then on your part.
Pull out a heckin' Chaozu.
But you were saying those stuff.
I was saying it's either that he can actually pull out the heat to melt Astro Boy, that with Knuckle Man's ability that he would be able to have enough concussive force. That's if, or he can manage with your new core system that he can outlast Astro Boy.
I think the Charge Buster might be enough to knock at least a limb off.
Well-
especially the dual gear charge.
Well, now
charge.
here's the thing: we said that that he's only really susceptible to like physical attacks. So the Mega Buster or any other projectile
it's a
ability.
concussive. It's a concussive force.
Yeah.
But I don't. But from what I know, that it's only been physical impacts that Astro Boy's ever had limbs pop off of himself.
Yeah,
He's never had anything
That's
like
what
that.
that's what concussive force is. A
well,
physical.
yeah, but it's but wait. You're saying a laser can physically hurt you like that?
a laser's
It's a-
not
it's a
concussive force.
Well,
A
no,
laser is an energy
his
projectile
Buster
cutting.
is like think of the Hadouken as like a spirit punch essentially.
Which, oh my god, he's
Are you
actually
telling me
had.
that robots have souls?
No, but Mega Man has the Hadouken.
Well, Mega Man does have the Hadouken.
Hadouken.
When he said that, I just thought about that. I'm like,
Mega Man also has the Shoryuken.
I thought that was Zero.
No, he has it in Smash Bros. He does the Shoryuken. He even does the spin and everything.
He
Mega
does
Man.
have the short.
Really?
Look.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Mega Man just
honestly-
uppercutting
I'm
another
honestly-
child.
So when did Mega Man go to...
I'm saying Astro Boy comes flying in, right? And just like every fighting game ever, Mega Man pulls out the anti-air, hits him with a Shoryuken, busts his head off, and it's game over.
I'm sorry. I'm sticking with hyper intelligent, super intelligent. No. Kids do not give a shit about ramifications. You beat that into them.
So his first father was abusive after a while, sold him to a circus, and then he was definitely beaten by the circus.
That's why he hates adults. And second, let's get into Mega Man's phobias. Okay, you throw a broom with that motherfucker and it's over. Why does Rogue get to do the cold shit and I have to sweep up? Throw a mop at me and it's over, man. It's over. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Where's too many video games? I keep reaching for
There's
my
there's no mops in Battle World Coliseum. All
That's right, man.
Nobody's cleaning up Battle World Coliseum. Nobody wants to clean up
Somebody
Battle World
cleans up
Coliseum
Battle World
after Thanos and Goku and the Avengers and JLA fought. That place is trash.
There's too much DNA everywhere.
There's a dead Superman over there.
His head was cut off. Yep.
Man, see, Astro Boy's taking the right thing. He's going to see dead Superman flip out. That's his time, man. That's his time. He's gonna be like, I remember, I grew up with this man. Why am I still smaller than underwear?
So you're saying, you said the only way, but is that the way?
Well, I'm saying that's the only way because in every aspect, even with his new core, Astro Boy just freaking outpowers him.
When he was
just
excited,
outclassed the bomb.
when he was super
He just outclassed
excited,
the bomb.
when he was super excited about his dad being like, "All right,
Hey,
you're cool.
pretty cool now.
He was like, I'm gonna run around the earth, and he flew around the earth in 2 seconds. He was really excited. Now he's not super excited, and in no other time has he been shown to bust out that speed at any portion against any robot
Not
that
only
he's
that,
fought.
but Battle World Coliseum.
The
ability to do it. Yeah, the ability to do it and the will to do it, as we've seen in a lot of Battle World Coliseums. The ability to do it and the will to do it are two different things.
Way different things.
Like Thanos had the ability to beat Goku.
Oh, you
Superman.
hated me from
Superman.
There's only one Goku that can take Thanos. And y'all didn't even bring him up. And I'm not going to argue about that right now. But this,
Hey, well, you can't retcon an episode that's passed.
Feelings are still fresh about some
God.
shit.
Goodness me.
I wanted to be here for that one. Let's just get back to Astro. This will go on forever.
So then are we in
I know
agreement?
enough about both to really go at you.
That would have been a good one.
So then are we in
Part
agreement
two.
that Mega Man would win?
over.
I would say I
it's
put my
Astro
vote.
Boy.
I put my vote on Astro Boy.
It's Astro
Oh, my
Boy.
God.
Astro Boy?
Astro Boy.
I say Mega
Mega
Man.
Man.
Blue
So
Bomber.
we don't have
We don't have
tiebreaker.
no tiebreaker.
We don't. It's just the four of us.
Yeah, we don't have tiebreaker.
Oh,
Hang on.
wait.
Let another on the podcast.
Cut my mic.
Mike 2.
Baby, please say it's Mega Man. You know I love you, girl. You know I love you.
Be on the podcast real quick?
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby. Do you remember we talked about
I
playing
rubbed your
C?
feet yesterday.
You remember the Blue Bomber? He's a pretty cool dude.
All right, let's see here. Okay.
Did you really?
All right, so we are.
You helped me research this.
That's awesome.
Okay, so hold on. All right, who am I speaking with?
Ashley Faye.
Ashley Faye. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. We've got a situation here. Today's topic was Astro Boy versus Mega Man, and we are split down the middle. 2 for Mega Man, 2 for Astro Boy.
Now, the one thing you didn't hear is about the double gear system that Mega Man had, because I didn't bring that
last
up.
minute, please. Here we go.
But I'll leave that out. I'll leave that out.
So you are his phone a friend to make the deciding factor here. Who would win in a fight, Mega Man or Astro Boy?
And why?
Because he's blue.
Why?
I mean, Astro Boy has butt guns. I mean, you
Ashley.
We talked about this.
Yes, butt guns.
So Astro Boy wins because of butt guns.
No, that's not what she said.
That's a headcanon.
know, just joking with him. I feel like it's really hard because of Mega Man being able to make a fucking black hole. Like,
Yeah.
how do you compete
It
with a black
doesn't
hole?
work like that, though.
Yeah, it's a smaller black hole.
listen,
he
guys,
can make,
Ashley is
he
not
can
on
make
the
a black
phone.
hole, and then he can make a second black
From
hole.
the black hole, but it's a black
Look,
hole.
as long as
And
black
also,
is winning, I'm
does
okay.
Astro Boy have the 1,000 horsepower or the upgraded 1 million horsepower to escape the black hole, even under the parameters?
Yeah, but how much fuel does that use?
Hold on a second. I'd like to interject really quickly. Does the million, does your core for Mega Man, does that actually upgrade all previous weapons?
Yeah.
Well, shit, bro.
Yeah, the dual gear applies to all of his weapons.
I mean,
Well, there it is then.
shit.
Ashley, though, you were saying?
I think Mega Man wins.
All
He's
right.
more
Happy
adaptable,
birthday.
And I feel like he has more specialized weapons.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, Ashley. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass you back over to Ian.
Thank you.
This is one time phone a friend really worked. And you heard her going off knowledgeable about shit. Well, it's 1 million times the power. And I was like, Jesus Christ, really? That's awesome. Are we all in agreement? Well, except for Robert.
I think-
but Mega Man did this.
Oh, yeah, he changed, didn't he?
Yeah. Stefan switched
It's
over.
because of the dual gear, and I think
I had
honestly
no idea that it would
think
upgrade all of his weapons.
I honestly think that like in the death battle that they did not have this. This is a new development for his new game, and like
So
really
it's for the new game. It's not even out yet. It's a prototype.
technically, but I
Then
mean
it
it's
don't
out.
count,
It's
man.
out.
Okay.
It's
For all
out,
we know,
and it's
for all we know,
canon.
he uses it. Shit blows him up. Fight's over. He killed himself.
And if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, here's how I see it happening. Astro Boy, you know the encounter that we had earlier, where he goes to come at Mega Man. Mega Man perceives a threat. They battle it out. During the fight, Mega Man uses his stop time. He uses all his abilities. Astro Boy starts to overcome. It looks like Astro Boy's going to win. And then in his low health state, he activates both double gears, which makes him super fast, slows down time, and powers up all his abilities. And that was the defining factor in the fight for me.
Now, for me, I think the defining fight is when Astro Boy comes at him and that dust cloud kicks up. And then Mega Man is so
Leaf
used
shield.
to doing
Leaf shield, bro.
so used to doing manual labor and cleaning that he has to clean up that mess. And then Astro
Yo,
Boy,
if you know anything, in Mega Man 7, he was walking through a destroyed city, didn't pick up not one pebble.
Lord knows he was itching.
What's the deciding factor
because
for
he
you,
knew he had
Stefan?
to- he
What,
had
for
to
Mega Man
robot
versus
dick
Astro
clean.
Boy?
Yeah, to switch to
The
Mega Man.
deciding factor for me was the fact that
He wanted to be on the winning side.
Well, no, no, it's not that. Like I was still full on
I'm
for
just
Astro
messing with
Boy,
you,
but like the fact that the new core system that Mega Man has, the fact that it upgrades all previous weapons, there was no doubt at that point that the black hole
Yeah.
could stall him out, that the
Yep.
Knuckle Joe would be able to have enough force to pop off his parts, that Flame Man's fire, which was already hot as the sun, could definitely melt Mega Man or Astro Boy at that point.
He's got plastic skin, man.
Look, man.
There it
All
is.
I'm saying is
Plastic rubber.
dust cloud. Done.
Well, that was it, guys. Turns out Mega Man won this one. So,
I wish I was here for the other two because those are the ones I have now.
well, then
could be
just
here
make
for
sure
the
you're
next
here
one.
for the next one. Yes.
What is the next one though?
I was thinking One Punch Man versus All Might.
Okay, I've already done research on that myself. And
Is
I can-
All Might injured?
Well, now hold on. I can.
Is
we're
it
gonna
All
have
Might
a-
always injured?
Well, now hold on a second. Now hold on a
Yeah,
second. Now hold on a
technically.
second. I can take over this argument right now because number
Don't
one,
ruin it.
Don't give it away for free.
No,
you
I'm
make these bitches pay.
This is paper here.
okay. All right. Now, first, this is basically going to be 3.5 right here because it's not even worth a full conversation. Because number one, Saitama's going to win that shit because he's a fucking joke character. He is a fucking Looney Tune. Let me explain. I'm not saying you can't use joke characters. I'm saying you can't compare All Might to a joke character. That's
So you're
like
saying
saying,
Squirrel Girl,
him.
One Punch Man.
He bleeds out his mouth and
I'm
gets
saying-
awkward. It's over.
All right, so then let's throw out some ideas and see what sticks. Game of Thrones versus Lord of the Rings. Rick and Morty versus Marty and Doc Brown. The best Batman. If they fought each other. Val Kilmer, Batman versus Michael Keaton's Batman versus
hold
Christian
on,
Bale's
hold on.
Batman versus Adam West.
hold on, wait.
Plot armor.
What if we did like a Legion of Batman versus a Legion of Spider-Man?
See, absolutely.
You could just do Spider-Man v.
Spider-Man
Batman
wins.
because that's already
Well,
a good
I mean, like,
matchup.
we could
Like,
be
different
Spider-Man v.
generations.
Spider-Man.
Sorry, Spider-Man.
Tournament bracket, Spider-Man v. Spider-Man.
Which
all the
Spider-Mans?
all the different.
Yeah,
yes.
like 2099
That's kinda
versus
cool.
versus
Beyond.
Morales Spider-Man.
Sure.
Yeah, a tournament bracket with horror villains.
Yeah,
like
that's a good one.
Freddy versus Jason.
we-
Michael Myers versus
Okay, that's what I meant to
Jason.
ask.
Alien versus Predators.
Pinhead.
But is it
Pinhead. I was gonna
versus
say Pinhead.
Can I pull it like
Jeepers
is it just-
Creepers.
Yes,
yeah,
the
it's like is it all mainstream or can I pull out like some obscure person?
well,
that
we
I
would
know is gonna
we would have to
be
start.
Ring Girl.
We would agree.
Exactly.
We would agree to 10 again.
Thanos wins.
Super thank you to the guys. Happy birthday to Ian
Thank you.
McCabe,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Thank you so much for
Mr. Dead Wilson at YouTube.com.
Mr. Dead Wilson at YouTube.com.
The Pokemon League Championship at Twitch. You can come watch us on Sundays. We usually do some cool battles. Sorry, Stefan.
Yeah, rip the Rainbow League.
I got a plea for help. I really suck at Fortnite. Somebody give me some tips.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Next time coming up, we're not sure. You're going to find out when we do. Horror battle. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Man, that was good. So what'd you guys think? Did you guys agree with the results? Did you agree on how we did things? Coming up next, the next podcast in the Battle World is going to be the horror movie villains. That's right. Jason versus Freddy versus Michael Myers versus Leatherface versus Pinhead, etc., etc. We're going to find out who's the baddest baddie of them all. If you've got any suggestions, if you've got any thoughts, shoot us an email at battleworldcoliseum@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to me directly, voiceover by Michael@gmail.com. So thanks again to everybody who made this possible, Ian, Stefan, Robert, and me. Yeah, I thank myself. Good job, Michael. So join us next time on Battle World Coliseum.